All right, and we're back. It's been a little bit since I was able to get to the bumper, but I'm finally able to get some time to work on the car, work on the bumper again. But I think we have a change of plans. So what I did was I sourced a different bumper. It's in better condition. So let's take a look at that one. So this is the old bumper, and I have been trying to sand it down, and I'm still doing some more work because I'm on the fence about keeping it as a spare or actually getting it painted. But I'm trying to knock down all those rock chips that were on it, and it's looking pretty good. Still got a lot of work to do here on the bottom, so I'm going to take the bumper off and put that on the sawhorses. It's starting to rain right now though, I think. I feel it. So anyways, I got a Mola red bumper here from a local part out, and overall the bumper is in much better condition. Hardly any rock chips and pits on it, so a light sanding, scuff, and prime and paint should help bring it back. The bottom of it is scuffed up like typical, but I'm currently sanding that down to get it knocked down a little bit. I haven't got to this side yet. So yeah, I think this bumper is going to be much better to work with than that one, but we will see. And what I want to do is I want to do a walk around of the car in its current state. That way I can do kind of like a before and after of the car. I'm kind of tight on time, having to take some time off of work since I'm so busy. So I can do this, so I don't really have a lot of time to really mess around with something cool like time lapses or showing me tear down the car and having to move the camera and start and stop. That just slows me down, honestly. I'm not that good at content creation in that. So I'm sorry. The best I can do is just kind of show what it looks like before, give updates in between, and then we'll come back and look at the car after it's completely disassembled, ready for paint. And then I'll, of course, do updates with how the progress of the painting is. The car's going to the paint shop at the end of this week. That is, what is today anyways? Today is the 29th of April, Tuesday. So the car will be going to paint at the end of this week, May 1st, Thursday. So I got a lot of work to do in the next 3 days to get this torn apart. I got to take mirrors off, bumper, trim pieces, rear bumper, side skirts, roof rails. I have to get the doors ready to come off, so I'm going to take all the door panels out. Because we're going to do a doors off repaint because the color change is non-metallic and it's just slightly different. I really don't want to take a chance with weird color issues when you open the door and the door jambs are purple blue from Orient Blue and they're like metallic, and the rest of the car is black blue, which is non-metallic. And same thing with the roof line. Take a look here. So I have a OEM windshield in. I got it installed and it was all great, and I got an OEM gasket right here. The problem is though that it's going to cause a paint line right here, and the paint guy can lift up this gasket. He's done it before like that, but I really don't want to have to deal with that. I'd rather just, so we can get to the A-pillars correctly, all this right here, I want to make sure that we get everything covered correctly. So we're going to go in, I'm going to have my glass guy come out when the car's at the paint shop before he's ready to do primer and pull the windshield out, pull the gasket out. I'll order a new gasket. I think that's the right way to do it. And the same thing with the doors. We want to get the door jambs done, and the only way to do that cleanly, to be able to get inside here properly and be able to get on the inside of the fenders, is to pull the doors off. So I have to get these doors ready. I have to unhook the electrical and then disconnect this right here, and then pop these pins top and bottom so that when we go to the paint shop, you know, I'll leave them in so that we can close the doors. but when he's ready to paint, I can come over and help him. We can pull all these doors off, and he'll be able to paint the doors, the front and the back of the door, properly. So we got a lot of work to do. Take a look at the car, a little outside view. Yep. So stressful couple days coming up, but got to get to work. All right, after much work, sanding, repairing, it's at a point where I'm ready to give it to my painter. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so here we have this bumper. I wet sanded it. The DA really wasn't doing much. I got a couple DAs here, a cheap Harbor Freight one, and it has it's adjustable speed, and a Ryobi one that doesn't have adjustable speed. And I have interface pads on both of them, so it doesn't dig into the plastic much, but it really just was not knocking down the rock chips like I wanted it to. So I ended up having to just get out the 180 grit sandpaper or 220 grit and 180 and start wet sanding it. But anyways, done a lot of work. I've sanded it, knocked down a lot of the rock chips. You can see a lot of stuff, but you can't really feel it. So I talked to my painter, and he said that's fine. He'll take care of the rest. And like you see right here, there's like these little spider cracks, but you can't feel it. So I don't know if it's in the plastic or if it's in the base coat that I haven't sanded all the way down to bare plastic. Regardless, it seems fine. Yeah, I sanded down the tow hook. It was LSB, and got it all scuffed up. And here, there were the 4 holes. So you can see where they were, but you can't feel them because I filled them in. So I used the 2-part epoxy easy sand from 3M, let it cure, and then I sanded it down. And then this one I sanded down. It's sanded really easy. So that's ready to go. And yeah, we sanded all the way through here. I cleaned out the hole, this little channel that goes all the way across the bumper. I sanded that down. Most of the work was spent in this area right here on both sides, right around the fog light area. There was just tons of rock chips everywhere and right here. So I just had to keep wet sanding. The plastic was gouged from the previous owner, just, you know, scraping on driveways and stuff like that. So I sanded that down till it's pretty smooth. You can see them, but you can't really feel them as much. And we'll fill those in with a little body filler, and it'll be fine. And this part right here, one here, and one here, were both broken. I went ahead and plastic stapled them, and then plastic welded plastic onto them using spare plastic from another bumper that I had. So I did it on both sides. Same thing here. So it looks a little chunky. I'm fine with it. I'd rather have it thick and, you know, holding than try to sand it down to be super thin and possibly break again. This is a part that nobody really sees, this on the bottom. I'd much rather just stay structurally sound. And yep, so we got all that sanded down, and it was a little wavy here on the bottom. Like, it looks like they went over something and then they backed over it, and then it pulled the bumper down, and so it was kind of wavy. So I used a heat gun and just kind of heated this whole bottom part of the bumper till it was super hot and flexible, and I just pushed it down in different areas and held it while the bumper cooled, and it held its shape. So now it's got a nice straight going all the way across. Go ahead and pull this up here, see if we can get a pullback. But yeah, I think that concludes work on the bumper. Now I can get started on cleaning all my mess up and then getting this thing disassembled and taken apart. So I don't know if I want to do it out here or if I want to do it in here, but I'll probably clean out some area and just set up shop in here and get it all done over the next 2 days. So yeah, all right, quick update here. Let me walk down to the side. I've done a lot of work for the silver bumper, and I showed that off. But then I kept looking at the red bumper and was like, it's in a lot of better condition. So I think I'm going to go with the red bumper. And I went ahead and sanded it down, showed it to the painter. He was like, yep, let's definitely use that one. It's a better base. I fixed the styrofoam insert on the back. I melted all the tabs back so that they're all catching. So they're just like factory now, which is good. Alright, so we have these two bumpers here. Did a lot of work on both of them. Go figure, I spent all my work, all my time today working on the silver one, and then I ended up using the red one, which only took me like an hour to get ready. But I did a lot of sanding on the bottom to get the gouges down along the bottom here and here as well. And I fixed this one tab here, stapled it, added new plastic reinforcement, so it's all one piece now. Yeah, so I think this is the one we're going to go with. I'm happy with that. So the next thing on my list is the rear driver's side quarter panel corner where it meets the rear bumper. It's always looked a little nappy, whatever you want to call it. So whatever happened when we welded that quarter panel in, it must have been when we welded the inner tub to the outer tub. Something must have not went right, and we must have welded it at a, I don't know how to explain it, but it must have just welded. Maybe it was too much heat, but it caused the quarter panel to bend in a little bit. So Go ahead and turn my music down on this. So anyways, let's take a look. So this is what we got going on here. So this part right here, this part was curled inward. And so it was not meeting up with the bumper. I could push the bumper in, but it still looked wonky because it was curling under. It looked really just janky. So now what I've got is a ratchet strap, and I've got it hooked right underneath here. I was trying to hammer it at first, but hammering it was not doing anything. And all I was going to do was just deform the metal and waste a lot of energy. So I'm using a ratchet strap, and the ratchet strap is tied to this tree. So I have this ratchet strap going through this tree right here. The tree has not moved at all, but it is doing a good job to pull this quarter panel out. So now it actually, what I did was I pulled it out more than it was supposed to. So if I push this bumper in, I actually have more gap now. So I'd rather have more than less. So now it's looking good, and I'm just letting it hold. I've been adding heat with my heat gun so that when I heat the metal up, that it helps expand and make the metal softer so that it'll hold its form better when it cools off. So hopefully I'll be done with this today, and then I can move on to tomorrow of disassembling the car. I know I keep saying that, but there's always just one more thing. So we've got a lot of work to do on the car still. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but we're definitely making progress. So I'm pretty happy with that. Go ahead and turn around. Car's looking, well, it's just looking like a car. But anyways, I'll get all that. I'll get the rear wheel put back on after I make sure the quarter panel looks good. And then I'll clean up all my mess, get ready for the wife and kids to come home. And then tomorrow, after I drop the kids off at daycare, I will get started again on trying to do it. And so hopefully now that I got the bodywork stuff done, then I can maybe set up the camera. Hopefully, we'll see, to do maybe a time lapse of me taking stuff apart so that, you know, it looks a little more interesting instead of me just saying, hey, I'm back, this is what I did. Because I know that gets really boring. But the cool thing is, I actually have a camera on top of my house, my Nest Cam, my flood cam, and that has been watching me all day, and I have 30 days of watch history. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download many segments of me doing things. It's a nice overhead view, and I'll probably download a bunch of it and then speed it up so that you kind of get a fake time lapse of me working on the bumper and stuff like that. I don't think anybody ever explains what they're going to do. They just do it. I don't know why I do that. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks. All right, we're back. Another day, more work. So today I'm going to get working on getting this car ready for paint, like I've been mentioning 100 times before. I've moved the red car out of the garage, got some open space here, and the bumpers were done yesterday, and the rear driver quarter panel I pulled out, and it looked a lot better. Actually, let's show an update to that. All right. So as we can see here, I've pulled that out a lot more. So now it actually lines up with the bumper. And then the bumper guy is going to take care of the finishing work of getting everything sanded, smooth, and filled. So we get rid of all these rough edges here from my previous body work, trying to get this thing to fit on a wagon. But we are much closer now. So everything that I can do bodywork wise has been done. Now I leave it in the hands of the painter. So for me today, I'm going to be going through and just taking off everything that needs to be removed for paint. Side grills, kidney grills, mirrors, door trim, door handles, gaskets, side skirts, Headlights and taillights I won't remove so I can drive the car, but what I will do is loosen all the bolts that are hard to get to and just put a few bolts that are easy to get to, so that when I arrive at the paint shop, I can easily just take them out and throw them in the trunk. No big deal. And things like the roof railing on the top, the roof rail delete kit, I gotta remove that. And I'm actually going to prep one of my other sunroof glasses. I'm gonna keep the sunroof glass that I have here. I'm gonna keep this one. And then I'm gonna take a spare one of these. I'm gonna scuff it up with 400 grit sandpaper. And I'm gonna have the paint guy paint match it the color of the car. I really wanna see what this car looks like with paint matched glass. I think it's gonna look really good, kind of like the E36 days. Or E34 days, I can't remember. Then I gotta take off all of the, switch back. All this rain gutter trim, all the chrome trim here, that's all getting replaced with gloss black that I got from Europe. This will come out, all the emblems, and what else? I gotta take the door panels out and get the doors electrically disconnected so that it's easy to remove. So I'll get that done. So I think the best possible thing for me to do today to capture anything is to just put this camera off to the side, put it on time lapse, and let it just capture everything I'm doing in that time period. So let's get to work. All right, we're back and the car is ready for the paint shop now. So I'll go ahead and turn the camera around and just kind of go over the condition of the car and what I've done, and you'll be able to see also. So, all right. So to start off with, we see you got the fender trim out. We got the door trim on all the sides taken out. Headlights will come out when I get to the paint shop. Also, because there's fluid in the windshield wiper fluid, I'll just get rid of that when I pull the headlights out. Pull the kidney grills out. Pull the hood grill out. The mirrors have been taken off. All of the trim has been taken off. All of the pillar trim, because we're going to be taking the doors off. That'll give him easy access to paint all the parts of the car that he needs, all the parts of the door that he needs to. It'll be really easy now when we take the doors off for him to get to the inside of the door. We'll be able, once the doors are off, we'll be able to paint the hinges, the door jambs. All the door jamb stuff is taken out. These seals I'm going to leave in for now because the car may sit outside, and we also have to wash it down, and I don't want water getting inside. So when the car is finally washed down, we'll take all these interior seals out. That way he can get to the inside parts of here. The car definitely needs a cleaning before paint. There's a lot of crud everywhere. We take all the railing off, both sides. Got the doors. Doors are all done. All the window trim's done. Gas door and all the little pieces. And then when we're ready to paint, I'll go ahead and pull back this gasket here and he can get all behind there. The bumper fender liner I've taken off on both sides, so to get the bumper off, all I got to do is undo the clip on right here, and then the 4 bolts on the rear bumper shocks, and then the bumper will just come off. I want to make it as easy as possible for him so that when he's doing refinishing work on the bumper, he can slide it on, throw a couple bolts on just to make sure the fitment still looks okay. The rear trunk lights are taken out, or the rear hatch lights. The tail lights I'll leave in for now, and then when I get there I'll just pop those off. Same thing with the license plate. I took the badge off here. The spoiler I already took off, and I took all the stuff off of it, like all the little washer squirters, the rear third brake light, and then I put two bolts hand tight in there, so when he's ready to paint this, he can just unscrew that, pop it off, and then that should be good. Antenna, I ordered a new one because my gasket was deteriorating, but I pulled the antenna off, so it'll be super easy just to tape this off here, and then he can get paint right in here. That'll be nice. All the door handles have been taken off. Door handles, gaskets, all the way around. And then I already talked to my glass guy. When we're ready, he's gonna pop on over, he's gonna pop the glass out so we can get primered paint, and then when we're ready, he'll come back over and he'll reinstall the glass. I'll go ahead and order a new window seal, or windshield seal. So yeah, there she is. This is happening. Finally, after, I don't even know how long it's been. Well, almost 2 years since I got the car and the convertible and tried to get everything put together. It's been a long time, long project, but I'm happy to make some more progress and get this done. And I will definitely give more updates once I drop the car off to the paint shop, and then I'll also have some updates with, he always sends me pictures and videos of the process. That's one reason I like working with him, is he always gets super excited about paint. And I love seeing that kind of stuff, just to see his progress, his work. So yeah, we'll definitely be back, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, so we are back. I have brought the car over to my friend in his paint shop and did the final disassembly, got the headlights out. Oh, I gotta do the taillights, so I'll do the taillights real quick. But I got the rear bumper out, the front bumper, and talked everything through with Mr. Tony, and we got everything squared away, so let's take a look at the car. All right, so we got everything, headlights out, front bumper, all the trim work. Like we showed yesterday, all the gaskets and door seals. Got the rear bumper. Got this thing ready to go. I'm super excited. Door handles are off. So one last thing is I'll get these taillights taken out for him. It's like he's setting up his old workshop area. Want to say hi, Mr. Tony? That's him, man. That's the man. He's gonna make it happen. All right, we'll be back with more updates.